Welcome, everyone. As you are joining us, we're just going to wait just a few seconds to let everyone get connected. We are so glad to have all of you joining us today to meet our kindergarten through fourth grade teachers and to learn a little bit more about Lotus and Ivy.
Yes, let's get started. Well, my name is Sarah Barrett, and Heather and I are your hosts for today. We have been working together since 2015 to bring Waldorf education to homeschoolers. So thank you again for being here. We want to start today by sharing one of our favorite studies that just show one of the many that show how powerful that the Waldorf curriculum is. So, you know, at Lotus and Ivy that Waldorf education is what guides our curriculum, it's what guides our teachers. And um, our lessons cover all of the traditional skills that you would find in every school, writing and reading and math and science and history and geography. But what you'll also find here at Lotus and Ivy is that all of our classes also have a strong arts component or hands-on component, and even often full body movement components. And the reason for this is because of the value these methods bring to healthy brain development. So what you see here in this study is a comparison where students were doing focused academic work, like a worksheet, for example, compared with students who were doing arts integrated or hands-on full body work. And what it says is that using this MRI equipment, the whole brain would light up when the student was doing the arts and hands-on full body work. And that lighting up is really referring to the strengthening of neurons and the growth of new neurons. So children at this age in the elementary years and into middle school, they really are at the heart of brain development. And neuroscientists say that brain development continues into your 20s, even into your late 20s. So our curriculum at Lotus and Ivy, it really is intended to support healthy and optimal brain development. And why is this so important? Because when you have a healthy brain, you also have clearer thinking, you have better problem solving, better decision making, deeper creative thinking, deeper critical thinking, and even an overall better sense of well-being. So healthy brain development is just one of the things that make the Waldorf curriculum special. And we like to say that, you know, Waldorf education is so much more than a lesson plan or what you would traditionally think of as a curriculum that you can purchase. And one picture that we use to illustrate this is Dorothy's slippers, her red ruby slippers from the Wizard of Oz movie. So those are probably one of the most memorable things from that movie. You know, you all can recall that those slippers were beautiful, red ruby color. They had sequins all over them. They were fancy with a heel and a bow. They must have been comfortable because she wore them her whole trip down the yellow brick road. And they're so special that my family actually saw them in a glass case at the Smithsonian at Washington, D.C. on a family trip. Um, so indeed, they are special. But what you find out at the end of the movie is that those slippers also held great power because they were the key to Dorothy fulfilling her quest and finding her way home. So like Waldorf education, what is beautiful and sparkly and pretty on the outside does have great power within. And what you'll hear today from our teachers is just more emphasis on what is more to the Waldorf curriculum. So, of course, when you look at it, in online pictures or how, pictures of other families doing the Waldorf curriculum, it definitely looks pretty and fun and even sparkly and fancy. And it is comforting, it is nourishing to students, but it is also profoundly transformative.
Yes, and as you can see on this slide, that the Waldorf curriculum goes so much deeper. But even beyond that, at Lotus and Ivy, we have an international community that has been built by these wonderful teachers who have so many years of Waldorf classroom experience, whether that be in an in-person Waldorf school or with online programs such as Lotus and Ivy. Many of our teachers have been with us since our very first year, and we think that speaks to the quality of the program itself. We believe that not only are the students learning at Lotus and Ivy, but we also have grown-up education opportunities for our families to also grow. These free for Lotus and Ivy grown-up workshops are spread throughout the course of the program year and have various topics that we find interesting, and we hope you will also find interesting. So please check those out on our website. Not only do we have these grown-up opportunities to come together to learn, but we also have socialization times for our grown-ups to come together through our Facebook group just for Lotus and Ivy families, where you can post and see where else other families are from and connect with them. We also host 3 grown-up teacher meetings where the teacher will host for each grade level and share what the students have done, what they're currently doing, and what they're going to do later on in the year to keep you informed and in the loop and working together as a team to lift up your child and guide them through this wonderful Waldorf curriculum. We know that it is comforting for you to see one of these warm and enthusiastic Waldorf teachers coming into your home each day and welcoming your child in real time and answering their questions in real time. And they are going to share some really exciting stories with you in just a few minutes. But before we get to that, it's really important to know exactly what it is that you're looking for. What are your values in education? And this can vary per student. So keep that in mind. We have created an activity for you as grown-ups to think about what you value in education most for each of your children. And we're going to share just a little bit about that now. So during this activity, it will take about 30 minutes. So you would need just some quiet time and set aside about 30 minutes per student. And during this activity, you would take these cards and separate them into 3 different piles. Important to me, not important to me, and very important to me. And so you would take these 78 different characteristics, these different values, and you would sort them into those 3 categories. There's even an other. If you think of something that's not listed here, then you can create your own. So don't think that you're locked into just these values if you know there's something else that's really important to you. And then you whittle it down to 3 or 5 that you really feel that are really important for that particular student. And we hope that that this activity will really help you to have focus on what you're looking for education for each one of your students. Today, we're going to hear from our teachers, and they're going to share threads of what is important and what values we have here at Lotus and Ivy. If this activity might be something that you're interested in receiving, it is a free resource that we would love to send to you today. You can feel free to put your email address in the chat to either myself, Heather Parrish, or the other director, Sarah Barrett, and we'll be glad to send it to you after this meeting. Or you could just go on your email and send us an email at Lotus and Ivy virtualclasses@gmail.com, and we'll be glad to send you a copy that way too. So then you guys will have this activity and you can work through that, because we know that it is really important for each of you to make this decision for your child, and that it's one of the most important decisions that you will make for your child. And so you don't take it lightly, and we understand. We will now hear from our teachers about some of the things that they have experienced while working at Lotus and Ivy. And we will begin with our kindergarten teacher, among other things, Ms. Smith.
Welcome, welcome. I am Karen Smith, and I am teaching lessons from Decatur, Georgia. And not only am I Lotus and Ivy's main lesson teacher for kindergarten, but I'm also teaching several complement classes. I teach hand sewing and woodworking for kindergarten students who are 6 or who will be 6 during the course of the year. I teach hand sewing and woodworking for 1st and 2nd grade students. And this year I'm stepping forward with a new hat on, and I am teaching cooking for 1st through 8th grade students. I have 3 different classes for that, so it's pretty exciting this year. I have been a Waldorf teacher for more than 20 years now, and I have been with Lotus and Ivy since they started in 2021. And over the last 4 years of teaching online lessons, I have learned a lot about how to teach hands-on activities in a virtual platform. And I could go on and tell you all about that, but today I'm going to talk about the magic that happens that I'm lucky enough to witness with my students and their families. So no matter what class I teach, I see magic when families are delighted and sometimes surprised when they realize that their capable children can do new and challenging things. That aha moment when an initially difficult skill suddenly makes sense after a child has had a bit of time to practice. The first time a student learns to sew with a needle and thread, or to chop a vegetable with a real knife, or to saw a piece of wood. These are all rites of passage in my classes. Because learning to use real tools safely and with adult supervision, it can feel a little intimidating at first. But that feeling of accomplishment when you are able to use those tools, it's priceless. I love seeing that grin of pride and confidence which says, I can do a lot more than I think I can. I see magic when quiet students have the courage to belly laugh at the fun and silly things we do in our class, especially when they finally feel comfortable enough to raise their hand and participate in the fun themselves. Their confidence grows when they realize, I am brave enough to do hard things. I see magic when kindergarten main lesson students take up a weekly mission from Dash and Sparkle, our kindness elves, to be kind and helpful to others. And they learn, I can make a difference in the world. We have a great time in our classes. We laugh and we sing, and we realize that none of us are perfect. We all make mistakes, even the teacher. And I see magic when the children understand that it is okay to make mistakes. That's how I learn. These kiddos bring their own unique gifts to the table, and they shine through the computer just as they would if they were in person. Some are quick to answer questions. Some are thoughtful and inclusive. Some have a hilarious sense of humor, and some are very practical and logical. But every one of them can say, I'm a good kid. Since we say 5 affirmations at the end of each kindergarten class, over time these statements sink deeply into each child's soul. And it is incredibly heartwarming when parents describe how their child spontaneously repeats an affirmation at a needed moment outside of class. I can't wait to share a bit of magic and fun with my new families this year. And I hope you all have a lovely day. You're going to learn so much, and it will be very fun to hear the other teachers speak.
Thank you so much, Ms. Smith. Next, we have Ms. Gimignani to share.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Miss Gimignani. Miss Smith, I can feel your passion and your warmth, and I just love it. So thank you for leading us off. We're going in order today. So I am the first grade main lesson teacher this year, and I'm very excited. I also teach the language arts and form drawing math for first grade. I also teach first and second grade wet on wet watercolor painting. I also teach third and fourth grade wet on wet watercolor painting. And I teach fourth and fifth grade form drawing to cursive. So I'm very involved here at Lotus and Ivy. I love it very much. This will be my third year with the program. Before this, I taught for 4 years at an in-person Waldorf school here in Portland, Oregon, where I live with my partner and our 2 dogs. And I love Waldorf education. I ended up online during the pandemic and really found my own rhythm in discovering that Waldorf curriculum really lends itself to children learning at home, in their homes with their families. And I found a strong relationship. Oh, we have somebody in McMinnville. Amazing. Yeah, and so that's another wonderful thing is we all have this thread that's attached in this very human way, in this very human connection. And some of the magic that I have recently experienced, I had a student and his family come visit from Arizona while they were on a road trip, and they came to my house and we had breakfast together and we picked berries in my backyard and we did a little nasturtium lesson outside. It was, just an organic kind of taste test. Oh, we've got another Oregon person, Tigered Beaverton. Lovely. Yeah, just right over the park. And so being able to have these connections all around the world is just such a gift. We really are all connected. And then when we travel the world, we get to visit. And it brought me so much joy that he and his family visited. And we tasted 3 different sizes of nasturtium leaves. And the larger they are, the spicier they are. So it's very fun. And you can eat every part of the nasturtium plant. Thank you, Declan Jones. And yeah, it was just such a lovely time. And there are also many other magical moments that have happened in the span of my time here at Lotus and Ivy. I can think of the class play that we did. I remember telling my coworkers that I used to work with in person, oh, we did a class play. And they said, online? And I was like, yes, it was amazing. And the students were dressed up in their costumes and we got to thread it all together. And it was just amazing. I'm also, another really magical thing is the storytelling. And the connections that the children have to the stories are just as connected as they were in person. I'll tell a story and a child will share, well, what about this? Or like, oh, it made me feel really sad that this was happening. And so things translate, all things translate. And to have your child be able to hold your hand at home while having us teachers as a guide is just a really lovely gift to give your child. And I admire the path that you've chosen for your children. So I hope that you'll join us here at Lotus and Ivy. And I'm happy that you all are here.
Thank you so much, Ms. Gimignani. Next, we're going to have Ms. Brazzelli.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our wonderful open house. Thank you so much, Ms. G, for that lovely segue. It blends magically into what I'm going to be talking about today. So I'm Ms. Roselli. I teach one of the second grade main lesson classes, and you'll see my partner in crime coming up next. And I also teach first through eighth grade theater and speech classes. And One of my dear colleagues this week, she told me the most beautiful sentiment. I want to share it with you all because it's one of the most magical parts of working at Lotus and Ivy for me. She told me, uh, in the arts, specifically the speaking arts, storytelling, theater, puppetry, that we meet ourselves and we meet others. And that sentiment really spoke to me thinking about what we do at Lotus and Ivy. Because I do the theater and speech classes with Lotus and Ivy, we are experiencing not only characters and stories or ourselves through improv and through creative writing for our older students, but we're meeting other people in a very different way. And there's something about our online platform. Yes, it's scary sometimes, but it also gives our students this beautiful confidence that they may not have in a theater classroom. There's a safety net there that holds our students really beautifully. And it just is magical. Like Miss Smith said, you see that child who wants to participate so much, but when they finally get that courage to raise their hand and to bring themselves into our virtual classroom space is a beautiful moment. And it's doubly beautiful within our speech and theater classes. So if you're not in a theater and speech class this year, oh, I hope it happens soon for you and your family. And without further ado, Miss Brown, take it away.
Now I'm unmuted. I'm always so happy when I see Miss Roselli's face. She just makes me have this joy of learning. I come to you from northern Michigan, where I live with my little dog and my son, and there is no Waldorf school here. So I am grateful for this opportunity to teach online from northern Michigan. I have two grown children who are in their 30s who were a part of a Waldorf homeschool collective about 30 years ago. So I've been at this for a while, and that's where I began teaching Waldorf education. And after they were grown, I went and taught on the East Coast in New Hampshire and New York. And 3 years ago, I moved back to northern Michigan to be closer to my family, and that's when I began teaching for Lotus and Ivy. And I'm so grateful that I have this time, this place where I can teach from and still have my family nearby. This is my third year with Lotus and Ivy. I am going to be teaching grade 2 main lesson alongside Miss Roselli, and grades 1 and 2 handwork, and grades 5 and 6 doll making. And the magical moments that I would like to share with you are, of course, the aha times when a child can all of a sudden sound out a word or figure out how they came to an answer in arithmetic, or make a self-correction in either of those situations. In language arts and in arithmetic, the children are just growing so quickly, and it's very exciting. But one of the things that I really love and that feels magical because we're online, and when I came I was wondering, can we really do this online? And when we do our morning movement and I see all the children doing the same thing at the same time right along with me, I was like, wow, that's magic. We're all in the same time doing the same thing, even though we're not in the exact same place, but we can see each other, and it's very exciting to be doing things together. The capacities and the relationships that form in this online format were a surprise to me, and now I'm getting used to it. But it is magic that we can learn things like taking turns and having good manners and saying good morning using someone's name, the willingness to share the space and not take up all the space, and learn those social skills that are an important part of Waldorf education as well. How to cooperate, how to share, how to connect and make friends. And we do that online in this amazing way. So I feel grateful for those moments when I really see the children respecting and being open to each other, and taking an interest and having something special to share with each other because they know each other from being together online.
The other really magic moments for me as a teacher come when the children or the parents tell me that the children don't want to leave class. They don't want the classes to end. They want to stay on. And so often we have to stay a little bit longer just to have them have a little bit of time to talk to each other. And those are very magical moments too, because I feel really happy that the children are happy enough to want to stay and not to want to go. I'm thrilled to be returning for my third year and for making more magic in second grade, and hope to see you here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Brown. And now we'll have our third grade teacher, Ms. Mary Jo Abinator, speak.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. I am so looking forward to working with all of the students that come into Lotus and Ivy this year. I am Mary Jo Abinator, and I am also from Portland, Oregon, like Vanessa, and love working here. This is my fourth year with Lotus and Ivy, and before that, I taught a first through eighth grade class in Hawaii and one in Portland also. So I really appreciate the third grade. I've been teaching third grade now for the last 3 years and going into the fourth year. And this is third grade is a turning point for many students from their building their skills and moving out, and the magic is palpable. We've been talking about some other teachers have been talking about the relationships that are built and the connections that are made. And I'd like to share a little bit about how parent collaboration is really special in this setting. I had parents collaborate with me in my brick and mortar schools, and that was always parents coming into the classroom and helping out with activities. And in this setting, it is a little bit different and beautiful, just amazing. So as a teacher, collaborating with parents who really know their child and can really extend what I bring in our meetings and extend that into their child's own particular way of learning is really helpful and helps their child in so many ways, really individualizing the education for each child that is connected. In third grade, we have pen pals and reading groups that are all facilitated by parent involvement, by the parents being interested in expanding on what we do. We also have projects that are offered. So whereas Ms. Smith does projects with students, I will send home a project to do that will tie into our curriculum. And I am always amazed when I get pictures back. I don't know why it amazes me so much. They actually did that project that I suggested, that they did that craft, and they're very proud of their work and to share with the work. And to me, that just is a magical moment where I become surprised. And it's just based on my teacher's viewpoint. The families connect really well together, it seems, and love. There's one reading group started 2 years ago, that is still going on, even into their older grades, on their own, with the parents and students' interest and participation. So really setting everyone up for lifelong learning and collaboration and interest. And that's what I find very magical about this work. So I look forward to seeing many of you. I'm teaching third grade main lesson and the third grade math and language arts skills. And I also have a sixth grade language arts skills class that I'm also going to be working with. So thank you very much. And I look forward to the start of a new school year.
Thank you so much, Ms. Abinator. Next, we have our fourth grade teacher, Ms. McGee.
Hi, I'm Amberly McGee, and I have been teaching fourth grade at Lotus and Ivy since the beginning. I teach main lesson, math skills, and language arts skills for fourth grade, and this year I'm teaching the diatonic flute for grades 3 and 4. I'm super excited about that. I have had the pleasure of teaching at a brick and mortar Waldorf school, and I currently teach at a brick and mortar Waldorf-inspired homeschool program that my daughter also attends. In both places, I have made wonderful connections with my colleagues, as you can imagine. What I find interesting and magical are the connections and support that I find from my colleagues online. here at Lotus and Ivy. So I have had the honor of being supported and mentored by Miss Abby Nader as I finished up my Waldorf teaching certification. And Miss Barrett and Miss Parrish are always a text away should an emergency happen, or even if I'm just feeling sick or down, they're right there to lift me up. I learn so much from the other teachers at our meetings, if we're meeting one-on-one or in our small group meetings, and even the whole faculty. I'm always taking notes because I'm learning so much from just everyone's experience. And as Ms. Abby Nader just talked about, the grown-ups of the students that I teach are amazing and inspiring people to be able to collaborate with. And it's just amazing to see them do everything that they can to support their students' home learning. So at Lotus and Ivy, I have seen and felt the magic of student connections across the world. I have delighted by the progress my students have made, and I also love to see their completed projects online. It makes my day. And I have been moved to happy tears by the gestures that students and families make for each other and even myself. But the biggest magic that I've seen is the wonderful support of the adult community that creates that little village that we all need to make homeschool work. And yet, this magical village is worldwide. So as a homeschooling mother myself, the sustainability through this collaboration and support is very important to me. So I am delighted to be working at such a wonderful and magical place. Thank you.
I was just taking notes. Thank you so much, Ms. McGee. Next, we have Ms. DiPasquale, our German teacher, to share with you.
Hello, nice to meet you all. I am Angelika DiPasquale. I was born in Germany and I'm the German teacher for Lotus and Ivy. It's going now in the 4th year. Like others said, my world went a little bit upside down after COVID. And so I found Sarah and Heather, and that changed my life because I thought Waldorf teaching online, that is impossible. And I'm a trained class teacher. I was trained in Germany. I do actually live in Italy. I'm half-half. My mother was German. I lived 30 years in Germany and I'm now for 32 years in Italy. I have 2 episodes to share with you about what is magic for me. One is when parents write me that children start singing at home in German and saying things and teach them objects they already can name in German. And that is wonderful because then the parents learn from the children. That's very beautiful. And the other one is a little story. This episode is about a girl that was in my class last year in grade 1. Still very young, very insecure, and needed a lot of time to be assured. So I always was patient with her, and around the end of the first semester, she started to say, and very good with her speaking in German, she said, I love German so much, I like it. And I'm going to be in German lesson until I'm 10. And that sounded like, this is going to be for my whole life. This year, unfortunately, she's not in my class anymore. Parents sometimes have to make decisions, and I learned that yesterday. As we said goodbye at the end of the year last year in terms of I see you in autumn, I wrote yesterday a mail to the family to say bye-bye and to wish her all the best for the future. She's going to be in person class. By the time my email arrived, the mother told me that the girl had just said, I think Miss DiPasquale will miss me a lot when I'm not in her class anymore next year. And that almost makes me cry, and that moves me so much, I can tell you, because you can see from so far away that those children, they knew I am not in the United States, I'm very far from them, and it works, the connection works. And that is my magical moment for today. I'm teaching all classes for German, and I am happy to meet your students and you in the first lessons. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. DePasquale. Now we're going to have Ms. Lubitsch share.
Hello, everyone. My name is Maya Lubitsch. I'm so happy to be here, and I feel so inspired by all the talks of your teachers right now. So I am teaching practical arts here at Lotus and Ivy, and this will be my third year. I have background in anthropology and technology, and also in arts, fine arts. And so I really like to share any kind of skills and knowledge of crafts and arts that I can pass on. So I would like to just invite you to a little setting. If you can imagine a young student sitting at a workspace and a bundle of wool in front of them, soft and shapeless. In one hand, they hold a needle, and in the other hand, they grasp a wool gently, and not sure yet what it will transform into. There might be a little bit of excitement. There might be a little bit of hesitation for a moment, though, unsure where to begin. And then a gentle guidance of a teacher and perhaps a nod of encouragement of a parent at home. And so they start. With that first poke of the needle, they take a step into the unknown. A small act of courage, as it might seem, like an ordinary. But is it? As the time passes and the shapeless material starts to bring a new life. And this is when real magic happens, because when students get to be really happy with their work, I really feel a magical moment. And as you parents or families on the side next to your children, or you get to see the projects after they're done, or at the time that they're working on them, you can hold them, look at them, and feel how much energy they put inside. And me, for a second magical moment, I only get to see that when I get a picture, because when we're working, and I would really, really like to see what they're doing, it's usually just a glimpse, right? But when I get a picture from the work that they finished, this really speaks to me about all the bravery behind it, all the creativity, all the dedication, and of course, the love to create something new. So I'm really happy to, we'll see some of you soon, and we will create together.
Thank you so much, Ms. Lubitsch. We will now hear from Ms. Novo Sedlik.
Hello, I'm Ms. Novosedlik, and I am living in the traditional territories of the Odawa, Ojibwe, and Potawatomi peoples, otherwise known as Windsor, Ontario, Canada. Welcome in. It is wonderful to be here and to see all of you. I am teaching this year grade 3-4 eurythmy, healing sound and movement. I'm teaching Adventures in Music, a new class that we've initiated this year for the 1-2 students, as a way to move into music in a much wider scope and experience. I'm teaching grade 3-4 handwork, and I'm also teaching in the second semester grade 1-2 pentatonic flute. And I would like to say that the best way for me to describe my magical moments is to sing it to you. So I'm going to sing you the little song, excuse my paper in the way, about the magical moments that I experience here, and many of us, I'm sure, if not all of us, experience here at Lotus and Ivy. The magical things about Lotus and Ivy begins with the wonderful hearts of students and teachers and families who share a vision for learning of what feeds their heads, hands, and hearts. There are ways to connect across the lands and the times, when we are together creating, through arts and thoughts and dreams sublime, a new way of life we're initiating, a future world in the making. The magic is found in the heart of each of us, building a world full of wonder and courage and color, where all can live as free thinkers and carve out their own place to be. I have to say that my experience here at Lotus and Ivy has been magical from the start to the moment now and into the future. We are creating a new world with this way of educating and growing together. Just a quick note about my background with Waldorf. I did have my own Waldorf-inspired home setting early years program for a few years. And I continue to learn as I go with every person who's involved with this initiative here, because it is an ongoing learning that we teachers and students do. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Novosedlik. And now, last but not least, we're going to have Ms. Kim Napa share with us.
Hello, everyone. I'm so happy to be here. And that is a hard act to follow. That was beautiful and so inspiring. And I've been thinking that all of these stories are so inspiring to me and the new colleagues, and I can't wait to meet all of the new families and children and connect with them. So I have so many magical moments that I'm expecting and assuming that I will be having soon. I'm coming to you from North Carolina on the East Coast. And right before we got onto the call, I actually went out to say a little hello to my chickens. And one of my magical moments every day is just saying hello to them. And then they give me gifts. And so I wanted to share a few gifts with you because every day that I get these, I'm so grateful for my little hens and to be able to teach like this and be able to share with the children. So when I bring Spanish, I will be bringing it from kindergarten through 8th grade, but to bring the vocabulary alive and make it relevant. When I was teaching online 4 years ago, that was one of the magical moments, is just to be able to go into the kitchen with the children and we're talking about the food, or they're making their little tortillas and they send me pictures with big grins of their stack of tortillas that they got to make. So I'm looking forward to bringing that vocabulary alive in that really relevant way again. I just stepped out of the classroom, the brick and mortar school, where I was for the last 18 years. And I felt that it was time to make a shift and do something different. I'm still teaching and mentoring new Spanish teachers around the country. And so I'll look forward to having not only my adult students, but also the new children online. So can't wait to meet them all soon. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Napa. And at this time, we are happy to take any questions that any of our families may have for us. You can direct your question to a specific teacher if you'd like to ask them something about one of their classes, or if you have a more administrative question, either Sarah or I will be glad to answer that for you. So at this time, if you would like to raise your hand or just speak out, either way will be fine. Okay, I don't see any hands right now, so I'm going to give you some more information and maybe that'll knock loose a question for some of you. So Lotus and Ivy, next week we have some important events coming. So if you're on the fence and not quite sure if Lotus and Ivy is the program for you, and you have come to this open house and you're really kind of thinking about it, maybe going to our website will really help you with some logistics of what our offerings are and the times and that kind of thing. And then once you're ready to register, you would just go to the main navigation and go to enroll. That 24-25 application for enrollment is there, and you work your way through those pages all the way to the end where you pay your application fee. That application fee will hold the seats in those classes for your student until we can get month one tuition set up for you, which only takes a day or so. So your students will have their seats ready to go by Monday so that you all can attend our events that we have starting on Monday. So we have a really important meeting just for our grown-ups, and it's new this year. It's called Grown-Up Orientation, and we're going to share everything that our grown-ups need to know to be successful in partnership with the teachers this upcoming year. We're going to show you how to use the Grown-Up Gateway. We're going to show you how to get into your Google Classrooms for the teacher for each class that your student is taking. We're going to show you everything that you need to know and answer any questions that you may have that are just kind of lingering out there. And that takes place on Monday, August the 26th at 11 o'clock Eastern Time, 8 a.m. Pacific Time. Also starting next Monday and running through Thursday, we have 1-hour sessions with our main lesson teachers for our meet and greet. And so that is where both families, grown-ups are invited, and students would attend, where they will meet their teacher for the very first time. And our students will be able to meet each other for the very first time as well. So that's something that you really don't want to miss. If you're not registered currently, please consider registering before Sunday evening so that your student could start by their Lotus and Ivy journey by joining that meet and greet starting next week. Those events, our main lesson teachers have really been putting a lot into those, and we know that that's going to be a not want to be missed activity to kick off the upcoming program year. We also have a meeting if you have an older student. Perhaps some of you may have a middle schooler who may be looking for a math home. We do have a math presentation scheduled for next Wednesday, August the 28th at 12 p.m. Eastern Time, 9 a.m. Pacific Time, and that is going to be led by Ms. Domikos as well as Mr. Shaw, two of our Lotus and Ivy math teachers, and they're going to share all things Lotus and Ivy math with you to help you to understand how Lotus and Ivy approaches math and answer any questions that you may have. So if that's something that appeals to you, please let us know if you have any questions about that. We'll send out the Zoom link so that you all may join that. All right. Are there any questions now? Well, that just may, oh, here we have a question. Go ahead.
Hi, I was curious, we just got accepted into Feather River Charter School. Is that are you vendored with them by any chance?
Yes, we are.
Oh, well, great news.
Yes,
you.
absolutely. All right, perfect. All right, any other questions? Okay, we have a shy audience. Hopefully that means we did a good job giving you information, but if you do have any additional questions, please feel free to email us at lotusandivy virtualclasses@gmail.com. We love hearing from you, and don't forget, if you did join us late, We did offer a free resource about locating and finding your educational values. So if that sounds like something that you would like to receive, it's just an email that we'll send to you with an attachment where it will help you to determine the educational values for each one of your students. If that's something you're interested in, you can put your email in the chat to either Sarah Barrett or myself, Heather Parrish, and we will never share your emails with anyone else. But we'll send that resource on to you just for being here today, totally free. And then also you could send us an email if you prefer not to put your information in the chat. Completely understand that. This QR code is going to take you directly to our homepage on our website where you can learn more information, probably more than you want to, but where you can learn a lot of information, every bit of information that you would potentially want to know about our teachers, our curriculum, our connections with each other, and what we value here at Lotus and Ivy. So we just wanted to leave you and thank you today for attending, for your time during this time together. And please let us know if there's any questions that we may answer for you all moving forward. You all take care, and we hope to see you all again real soon.